Today on MUFC Pulse, we'll dive into some incredibly intriguing news. The drop in price for the defensive midfielder on the wish list, and United's targeted price for Vitor Roque. For more on this story, check out the video. We also have some equally exciting football news coming up, so stay tuned until the end to catch it all. Welcome to MUFC Pulse. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for more updates. Drop in price for defensive midfielder targeted by United. Manchester United continue to be strongly linked with a move for Sporting midfielder Morten Hjulmand. The Red Devils are seeking a long-term successor to Casemiro, whose contract runs out at the end of this season. The Brazilian has been in cracking form this campaign, yet is already on the wrong side of 30, and the Premier League giants are tipped to line up a replacement for the role come 2026. Hjulmand was snapped up by Sporting from Lex under Ruben Amorim in the summer of 2023, and the pair went on to lift the league title that year. The Danish midfielder has been on United's radar ever since the Portuguese boss took the reins at Old Trafford, though a transfer has yet to come off. The Dane has chalked up 17 appearances across all competitions for Sporting this term, starting every one. Hjulmand is said to have an €80 million release clause in his deal, but a fresh report claims he could be available for a cut price fee next summer. His release clause will only apply from the 1st of June to the 14th of June, yet Sporting are prepared to let him leave for €50 to €60 million come the close season, thanks to the player's exemplary behavior. All the same, with the Red Devils desperate for a top-class addition in the engine room in 2026, the 26-year-old is reportedly back in Amorim's sights. Given that Hjulmand is well acquainted with the demands of the Portuguese gaffer's setup, he could hit the ground running at the Theatre of Dreams. Manchester United's targeted price for Vitor Roque. Vitor Roque has voiced his ambition to return to Europe after rediscovering his scoring touch at Palmeiras this season. The Brazilian forward was brought to Barcelona from Atlético Paranaense in January 2024 as a prospective long-term successor to Robert Lewandowski. Regrettably, Vitor Roque struggled to settle at the Camp Nou. Following an unsuccessful loan spell at Real Betis, the 20-year-old joined Palmeiras on a permanent basis in February of this year. Since returning to South America, Vitor Roque has regained his goal-scoring prowess. The Brazilian has now notched 20 goals and provided 5 assists in 52 appearances across all competitions for Palmeiras. A recent report indicates that the young striker's displays have already persuaded United, who are gearing up to make a move for him next year. Despite recruiting Benjamin Sesko for the number 9 position this summer, the Red Devils continue their pursuit of additional attacking options. Ineos have focused on youthful prospects in recent transfer windows, and Vitor Roque aligns with their recruitment approach. He could even serve as a replacement for Joshua Zirkzee, whose future now hangs in the balance. The Brazilian's agent, André Cury, recently revealed that his client is awaiting an approach from the Premier League. The player has now offered an update on his prospects. Whilst on international duty, Vitor Roque reflected that fulfilling his dream of playing for Barcelona had never been about money, noting he has between 10 and 15 years left in his career, God willing, and that it was not yet time to dwell on financial matters. He explained that upon departing, he had a career plan in mind, as every footballer dreams of representing a club like Barcelona, one of the world's elite sides, and that it remained a cherished ambition. Although his stint with the Catalans did not unfold as hoped, the Brazilian expressed his eagerness to return to Europe in due course, emphasizing that he would continue to perform his duties at Palmeiras, that being his present objective before making his way back to the continent in the future, God willing. Vitor Roque's unfulfilled European aspirations could pave the way for a transfer to the Theatre of Dreams in January 2026. United, however, will need to move swiftly, as the Brazilian will not be short of suitors given his blistering form this season. Various sources indicate that Manchester United are preparing an offer in the region of €50 million to secure the services of the young Brazilian striker. This figure reflects Palmeiras' lofty valuation, taking into account the player's tender age of 20, his long-term potential, and his contract which runs until the end of 2029. The sum far exceeds Vitor Roque's current estimated market value of around €20 million, underscoring the competition and high regard from interested clubs. Although primary reports emphasize a straight purchase, Manchester United may well consider a more structured transfer arrangement, such as a loan with an option to buy or even a loan with a deferred obligation to purchase. Such options would enable the Red Devils to assess Vitor Roque's adaptation to the Premier League and the new European environment without committing a substantial upfront fee, aligning with the more prudent transfer strategy under Ineos. Palmeiras, keen to retain their star player until the season's conclusion, might prove receptive to a short-term loan deal that offers financial and sporting benefits. Given Vitor Roque's desire to return to Europe and his current red-hot form, the January 2026 or summer 2026 transfer windows will prove pivotal. Beyond Manchester United, other Premier League sides such as Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur are reportedly monitoring the striker's situation. The speed and flexibility of the bid, including adaptable purchase clauses, will be crucial for Manchester United to secure the signature of a target viewed as a strategic investment in their forward line. As further detail, in these transfer negotiations, one factor influencing the price and agreement will be the sell-on clause held by Vitor Roque's former club, Barcelona. When offloading him to Palmeiras, it was reported that Barcelona included a 20% sell-on provision. This means that if Manchester United do acquire Roque for €50 million, Barcelona would be entitled to approximately €10 million of the total transfer fee. Manchester United edge closer to January deal for Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee arrived at Manchester United with high hopes, raw potential, and the wind in his sails from a fruitful stint in Italy, yet his Premier League tale has rather ground to a halt. Roma have tabled the first formal approach to lure the Dutch striker back, spotting a chance as he scrapes for a foothold under Ruben Amorim. For a lad desperate to force his way into the Netherlands squad for next year's World Cup, the coming 2 months could make or break his international ambitions. Zirkzee is yet to start a Premier League fixture this term and lingers on the periphery of Amorim's thinking. There might be a brief window if Benjamin Sesko is sidelined, but the knock isn't thought to be grave. The gaffer is cautious about thinning his ranks during a punishing slate of matches, rendering any loan move a bit of a punt. Roma's pursuit makes perfect sense. Zirkzee flourished with Bologna, and whispers suggest he'd fancy a return to the Italian fold. Roma are prepared to put forward a loan with an option to buy, contingent on appearances and whether they clinch European football. Rivals for Zirkzee's services are queuing up. Everton and West Ham are both on the hunt for striking reinforcements and could lodge January bids. Both sides see him as the sort of forward who can drift deep, knit play together, and provide clever runs, qualities they are short on in the squad. That said, Zirkzee's heart may pull him towards Italy for the promise of regular minutes. With World Cup selection hanging in the balance, his keen is mustered to rack up enough game time to stay in the reckoning. He's after certainty and a proper crack at it. One insider reckoned. Minutes are the name of the game. PSV Eindhoven, gearing up for a title tilt, are mulling a formal loan offer. Juventus have been mooted too, awaiting word on United's stance. For the Italian outfits, Zirkzee offers bang for buck and plenty of upside, especially if a loan comes with a sensible buy clause. For United, it's a tightrope walk. They crave squad depth but acknowledge the player's hunger for pitch time. For Zirkzee, January looms like a fork in the road. Italy could bring familiarity, rhythm, and a fair shout at the shirt, while the Premier League might boost his profile but gamble on scant minutes. Manchester United must weigh the financial ramifications of any deal with due care. Zirkzee was signed for a hefty sum, and United needed to safeguard his asset value from erosion via a loan. Internal sources indicate a preference for a mandatory purchase option and hefty clauses, particularly if the borrower is a European contender like Roma or Juventus. This isn't merely about balancing the books, it's about furnishing Amorim with funds for future wheeling and dealing, should Zirkzee opt for a permanent switch. Bitter lessons from past loans where values plummeted have left the hierarchy wary in negotiations this time round. For Ruben Amorim, the conundrum centers on Zirkzee's potential as a false nine. Though he's yet to start in the Premier League, the Dutchman has flashed his quality in training and cameo appearances. Amorim concedes that Zirkzee brings a distinct profile compared to the out-and-out target men at his disposal. Letting him go, even temporarily, would strip away a unique tactical string to his bow. Joshua Zirkzee and his camp are expected to make a pivotal call in the opening fortnight of January. The chief aim is to banish uncertainty at the earliest opportunity, ensuring he can bed in fully with his new club before the transfer window slams shut. Amorim's final verdict will strike a balance between preserving adequate squad depth and honoring pledges made to the player about his career progression. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comment your opinion.